For comparing countries, their income is considered to be one of the most important attributes. Countries with higher income are more developed than the others with less income. This is based on the understanding that more income means more of all things that human beings need. Whatever people like, they will be able to get it with greater income. So, greater income itself is considered to be one important goal. Now, what is the income of a country? Intuitively, the income of a country is the income of all the residents of the country. This gives us the total income of the country. However, for comparison between countries, total income is not such a useful measure. Since countries have different populations, comparing total income will not tell us what an average person is likely to earn. Are people in one country better off than others in a different country? To answer it, we compare the average income, which is the total income of the country, divided by its total population. The average income is also called the per capita income. In the World Development Report 2006, brought out by the World Bank, this criteria is used in classifying countries. Countries with per capita income of Rs 4,53,000 per annum and above in 2004 are called rich countries. And those with per capita income of Rs 37,000 or less are called low-income countries. India comes in the category of low-income countries because its per capita income in 2004 was just Rs 28,000 per annum. The rich countries, excluding countries of Middle East and certain other small countries, are generally called developed countries. As you can see in this map, the countries in blue are developed countries. How is it that the average person in Punjab has more income than the average person in Kerala, but lags behind in these crucial areas? The reason is, money in your pocket cannot buy all the goods and services that you may need to live well. So income by itself is not a completely adequate indicator of material goods and services that the citizens are able to use. For example, normally your money cannot buy you a pollution-free environment or ensure that you get unadulterated medicines unless you can afford to shift to a community that already has all these things. Money may also not be able to protect you from infectious diseases. Unless the whole of your community takes preventive steps. Actually, for many of the important things in life, the best way, also the cheapest way, is to provide these goods and services collectively. Just think, will it be cheaper to have a collective security for the whole locality or for each house to have its own security man? What if no one other than you in your village or locality is interested in studying? Will you be able to study? Not unless your parents could afford to send you to some private school elsewhere. So you are actually able to study because many other children also want to study, and because many people believe that the government should open schools and provide other facilities so that all the children have a chance to study. Even now, in many areas, children, particularly girls, are not able to achieve secondary level schooling because government society has not provided adequate facilities. Kerala has a low infant mortality rate because it has adequate provision of basic health and educational facilities. Similarly, in some states, the public distribution system, or PDS, functions well. If some PDS shop, that is, ration shop, does not function properly in such places, the people there are able to get the problem rectified. Health and nutritional status of people of such states is certainly likely to be better. Let us look at this table. Isn't it surprising that a small country in our neighborhood, Sri Lanka, is much ahead of India in every respect? And a big country like ours has such a low rank in the world? The table also shows that though Nepal has half the per capita of India, yet it is not far behind India in life expectancy and literacy levels. Many improvements have been suggested in calculating HDI, and many new components have been added to the Human Development Report. But by prefixing human to development, it has made it very clear that what is important in development is what is happening to the citizens of a country. It is the people, their health, their well-being that is most important. Do you think there are certain other aspects that should be considered in measuring human development? Suppose for the present that a particular country is quite developed. We would certainly like this level of development to go up further, or at least be maintained for future generations. This is obviously desirable. However, since the second half of the 20th century, a number of scientists have been warning that the present type and levels of development are not sustainable. Groundwater is an example of renewable resource. Renewable resources are replenished by nature, as in the case of crops and plants. However, even these resources may be overused. For example, in the case of groundwater, if we use more than what is being replenished by rain, then we would be overusing this resource. Non-renewable resources are those which will get exhausted after years of use. We have a fixed stock on Earth which cannot be replenished. We do discover new resources that we did not know of earlier. However, over time, even these will get exhausted. For example, crude oil that we extract from the earth is a non-renewable resource. However, we may find a source of oil that we did not know of earlier. Explorations are being undertaken all the time. If we look at this table, we will realize how many years the crude oil reserve will last. The table gives an estimate of reserves of crude oil as shown in column 1. More importantly, it also tells us for how many years the stock of crude oil will last if people continue to extract it at the present rate. The reserves will last only 43 years more. This is for the world as a whole. However, different countries face different situations. Countries like India depend on importing oil from abroad because they do not have enough stocks of their own. If prices of oil increase, this becomes a burden for everyone. There are countries like USA which have low reserves and hence want to secure oil through military or economic power.